papa no so no oye ne wofa nka ne papa mu no nka mo nyimfo yi wo ba frɛ na atenase na mo frɛ no wofa no e bia mo atenase oh we dey wofa ase ni oye young boy nti fa konwa no man na wo so ta na chi na ne mo nyedu so mo de advice no ma ne wofa na nka ntia se be ya adwuma wo firi ya no mo man se na mo ko gazette no akwa ko bo de man hini amada ni papa sante hina nso no mo onka ka bibia nkyere no ni sante ne sanete ya dia gazette no ntimi mo onye man hini man yi onka so you right oh you right media media me kan say ma futuo kakra me de ma sabe abonofo ma say ye bibia ye bia no mo ma ya nyini nkwa akiri da jinjiri ma ye kasaboni a da jinjiri ma ne baba tu na nanu be kasaboni anke ya ma meto se tejmanyine one nana sante hene ba ya koro o ma ya koro o yari yenye sante na sanke tejmanyine be wu yeah sante ni mejo ayiya ma tejmanyine enya na wodi ni be no kwe
tejmanyine ase no ho mfa no sante hene ne boa no
yeah yenye sam na se anu sukono mabi tse saba ya afia boku ya se ho woni na okotinas na all cancel kese se ya every Dormaahene ne ya oye onisi mahene no be ne ya oye no oniama ankwara no so esua mba yefo se twa saboni a o fase bi entibidia je mekan se abunofo ma no benya mbenfa ntu betiri mi se ni bia da ne mane enti baby a asem bi wa emfata no nhimfo no se betina se na behwehwem na be yiye to yiye se de be ya enkofa basabasa yo bia ma meto bromam ho because omo yama me say de bia me kan say me krom kwansa say development ya ka akiri me yefia amanyosem ani ahimfo ya be praise eniaman so enti ayabia in fact adini enti me message in Ghana government Ministry of security agencies on House of Chiefs esa omutina sino mu friend of my hini tunufo
as aban no timi a friend na Dormaahene no mu tunufo on
yes they have to call him some friend no ni class no kajanza na na dia wo ya na nye jai me papa nika was called a spade but not a digging implement.
Okay.
Call a spade but not a digging implement. So we are penning now, we are then at the end, a CMO who said, the way and
also say, Bono Mantem one can yet I am for Wunina at the warrior no money Jim Wong.
No, yeah, I am for me, but my friend said, majority any in your home.
Nasa also now Dormaahene so I say, also person watch a bono for young abono for I say, ye or can't bono for bombi nase. I said, yeah, it seems as or something in a press. Ye Kayanji in Chronicle one was some something in a common free something in a say. I mean,
the American said, Nana Dormaahene could have walk canoe. Maybe I meet to say, dear, me than to work mum Cagrant into the Amabassi. Na me be see a mess road make a history atro to man grass as now just no nyane de ne
Domasa asen kwa na enye domafo de ahun
nye domafo de ne asase no amra asante ne denchira koya wamfiefo dwane firi denchira a omo bae no kwaye no ho no omkotena ye enti akoko ya ne ma wo Dormaahene udwane firi sintro so a ukwa abisim firi one more ntokwato awa kosi ko abitan Côte d'Ivoire ne osa bohwia osa baya domafo no eje omo a wotena omo achi se ene wokotena ha nti domana na se ya ne nya domayo ye fra omo wam domakro mu ye fra wampam ni dia o se wo mbibua bia o pa o meka ye fra wampam wamfo ne be na asase a wotena so nyam nam se na wo kukura dom nti no ne ma unya saade no ni doma wampam wamfo no bi papa kuma papa kumia ni kodi Dormaahene nti eba ya say ye che asase ana say ye ma demarcations no no so ono ontimi mfiri ni papa achi emma ye manhene nti wo papa wo fa manhene so ni ma Dormaahene nya manhene no asase no ewo aikais okwa bi aminim bi ane
enanu em se won kra wan fiefo ne de krata ba abonten se asase ne ye won de enanu ya mo de krata bi aba abonten em se mahunu bi
yes eye wanfie eye wam school land asase no eye wam
enem se mi akra no me wo video bi a ye na Dormaahene kra gina ba bi a wo ka se samu anu sa asase kra nya de na ye wamfo de a
yes eye wam school land
me wo video
enti mira asante hene echesi a omo akum jama hene dinkra no samren ka sasase ni na ho nyina be ye sebi asante hene de ne but asante nyen mu ono kuna odifitua owia osefo asase tu hene bibi ni ebesi a bra ni nyina ya nwene ni ehunu kwan a ebe fa so a ebe ma yaman na atumporo sani asante de chechire ye anka asante nkoduru yo wura nka wura nko ya asante man de ne o
nani eye den na obi a woye ofri suntra so na nwonwa mu akopie wam na wanya wamfie na yi wampa mu ne friend do ma na ase wono na ase waje aginam sa ase ye abonofo na wono kwa se ne onye bono ni sa wo
se o ka bono a obi kasro se bono a bono nkasa na ani tachiman na tachiman kura ni nya tachiman no beti na beti mane so efro bono man so enti asase a ekunu mu omutu tachiman yin to no wati ponko so ma ponko no wuye no eyami papa no asase jefre ho agim ponko e Nkoranza pinihi
yefro say bodi ni bio ba bia wo se ye nana no to ara na mo se edu na yefro say agim ponko asase no eda ho se ya e ho na omutu tachiman yin ku fi ama ya tuo samre na nka obewura bono wo wo Nkoranza ho nti no sabre na no te ponko so won
no te ponko so nti ponko
ani na ho odene na ho odene won no na ho odene won
yes ponko na awu ya no ni okia okowura kwaye mu wo tachiman ya owura sa kwaye ni nti dia fra no am yo kwaye mu sesi ya okwa ni nsa e wo ho a asedia tachiman hene ene ni nkofo nyina ko ya mamre
eti mebawo na san amya na me akunfi no na woni hefo na edi akon na etuwo kan no no ne hwam na ekon
ani sante hene ne ko e
anti asante ntokwa bi na opokuware odi kan no na opokuware ntokwa no eno na wo kan
na opokuware ntokwa no sa ayinu ya state no ma bono no kuye enti every year no tachiman na tachi ono betina so akonya no so no ono ne tano so hene no asante hedi asase no mano no di man se enya me wo fa no ti se ntokwa na dwudi a enya man chekere mano so bio na mo ko wani asase e da hai na so ko tena so
anti ni din tachi no ena be dan tachi man ti tachi ni man anti na tachi a no wo ye hene no after say na pokuare ntokwa na asante di wonum so nkuni no oje asase no se kotena no kwa chekere tachi wo chekere wo man ena dan tachi man no
yes ye bi nya tachi man tachi man no krono tachi no ne yam fro tachi man ye an krono ye fro man so manso uko kentampa krono ufri tachiman ya globem se bese 15 or 18 miles no wadu manso so ho na ya tachiman hinkro manso hinkro krono boy enti asante so eye a omo keka on hugom saa ne be chira asante ni enya asante mane so se wo ka asante mane a Nkoranza ka ho bi
o Bono ho so ka Nkoranza ka asante ho
na ade kura mi ya mi ya say enka mpanyimfo say ade yi ane ye enka yenana osi ade yo nka wo ye nka wo nyaman amansani na kabo wo a wo som Nkoranza ana wo som asante ko som wo som nemo ye ba general meeting a ye nyina so ye sia entinka enema bia e ko so asante man mo no wo be ya information am ya hu se asante ye sei enti kwalise no mo nam so mo chichire enti ya ba fa kwalise so ama ya so ye di achichire so nanso mpanyifo no ba mfa sa kwa no so omo ya ne se we mpese we be ye kese na wa be gi no so enti bia ya opese o kan se
right openi jina ho abusiafo openi ane ne kasai Nkoranza man hene ni nua ni mpon ena ne me ne o chechire me abakwasem kakra wo Bono mantemu ho fise yesese ye hu no fise de ekoso no bebre nima de krokra de ka Bono na Bono no se ye nkro eye kro ba akopɛ eye abusua ba akopɛ emi nsam no bebre me de ne se ye beti sa Bono na se Bono mantemu ye ti ase ne ehunu kuro bia adabre ebi na wo kan se kuro ne bia de no ho ekuro ne bia de no so ya kan na ya na bi ne mo nti ase enti wono ye wo Bono ne oye Bono ne ya wo kan ebi a sa bre me gidi se wono etie no obi a beti ase na wahunu se de sitie se impo na Dormaahene ne Dormaafo kura no wono nya Bonofo saa se de nipa no bebre ka no ana obani me pesa me ye dusi a mesada me ya interview for na mamusawo Bono no sa Bono na ehifo pa na ye Bonofo wo se Bono mantem wo no sa nkuro no de pa na ye Bonofo
se o ka Bono pa dia ene eye kura eye chechiman hini kura ene efa bedi sante hini nsam no omo ne ka omo ye Abonofo so ni ye wo Germanfo no oni ni German hini dinkra enam no suma ma asante hini no kokoya kokuwa oni asante hini no kokoya okum German hini dinkra ene yenya ntuma dinkra
no na yeah meba yenye ni say won for the benefit of educational purpose in the enhwe say ukọ Bono ho no a ma me gbokoro we nkyere na me hwe ade unsa ukọ Bono no a say kwa say ye Bono say kwa fo nya Bonofo ba enso omo sum menhia ba omo nya Bonofo ho
dabi say kwa fo hwe ba bi ti say sampa say kwa manje sankronkron omo kasa omo kawo omo
de omo ho tase omo nya Bonofo ba so region na Nkrumah created 1959 na omo nyina ko omo region but omo nya Bonofo okay me bokro ni kire wa so omo nya Bonofo anu hu awuadumase omo ya santefo toni ni omo kotena ho okay badu traditional area badu omo nya Bonofo okay banda enya Bonofo omo kasanko banda ene sampa no omo language bi a nafanafo omo ye nafanafo yes omo kana nafana kasa ye hwe omo kasante kasa wi a na ba ka be kasa okay ye hwe okay brekum omo fira sokore okay na doma na babia na yatie no Dormaafo tie no ene kumase Sontraso because se o hwa Dormaafo no omo asinyina free bianafo kro ye ba asuminya yes omo free asuminya so omo ye aduanafo omo ni sumafo nyina se obi ni nua woni suma ni nyina ye anuafo yes etino aduana omo ye aduanafo na ko omo ntiase anya adwuma no enuma Dormaahene free akokọ ne wofa wo akwam Right. Ewa kwemu. Mate. Fa oni si wo de to fa oni si wo ye beba ho. Drobo.
Drobo for no. Drobo for ye. Drobo for almost free. Drobo for some ye some party be free. Then chira. Some party be free. Manso side ho.
Migration no said the migration will be a migrating nana. Okay.
Migration any travel war. And a man sounding for me now. A copy but the auntie Obia will not come here. Nothing you do tomorrow or the now.
Me person me tesa Bono na no say na do man ya baby ne wo Bono we 70 paramount no ya Bono for nti we ya drobo ya ka drobo na jape krom so ya Bono for ana
jape krom for nya Bono for wo say o pra Bono man kasa dia Bono man kasa any Bono kingdom na eguya no nti baba ka nyina frama we ba no abetena se we ba Mr. Tetenu sem penfo no omo wa anuado enti se me ye bofo na se me beduru ha na me hwe sa asase ya na me ko hie no nwa bi o na ma ka che no aha me tie ho ye nti bra ono so ba ono so abekekere ne mane so baby se sampa sei sampa fo se omo fi ko di wa ne be ne omo bo a asante ene
German to kwa no
yes
eti yahwe we so kwatwuma so
kwatwuma no omo nyina ye German fo omo nyina ye German fo
okay right wudi miti okasa
oni kwatwuma no omo nyina ye German fo Samre na almost territory no or here or down and only German in
Edinkra no nti after sent to kwano ko na wie no ne omo no mutete na so omo kwachichi kura frɛ no kwatwema no omo
yes
right wonim ene yefa we ninsia ekuro no yebeto so ha ne mpani se yebe company nsem no ma me na wase omo me nsa obra bi ma me na wase na odi ne ase bi o si odi ne so bi o
ye from
Ejechere me Nkoranza man hini nua no wo ho
yeah na Spain ha say no obisa ukase of a chance
e
wo Spain ma de die of a chance ana say Nkoranza man union omo president na eyeme
okay wahine nua wada ma me na wase Mr. Charles of a chance na ye mesa afro bi why me da say me da say pa Faso so
Ghana government, Minister of Ahafo, on the National House of Chiefs, National Security, President, Minister of Interior, almost responsibility set. Fred Dormaahene near to form an AI.
Okay.
Jadi ya tuye. Anya sabi aguru uya sabi santini uya bruni na ukonkran ya. Nkrafo omo frewa. Osi asante koyo. Koyo so yemframa.
Asante omo nkrafo ne frɛ sɛ asante koyo.
Asante koyo.
Asante
koyo.
Asante mframa. Asante mframa.
Yeah, koyo nkranka sem yemframa.
To hia de ntro mo frɛ omo de ntro mo bo sa din no
se omo fi se ya nipa bi a ya ho hare hwem
enkrafo no bi hu ne sa asantefo no ho ha omo ho hare
yes oni ne bi want to know us no we dia asante koyo
we yankrani a mami hu te sa woni wona nanam akasa na mo wate pan ya wai wa wo hwem ya wo yankrani no wada ma
asante koyo nkrafo ka
okay
so
we eti
kofa amanyo sem
edi aba
besi ba bu man bi wo asantini bi wo
sunyani asem bi a na ekokoso no
ha me pa because Sadia will say me nuanum bi kura obrekum e Dormaahene ade a omo kira de bi mu ye adwuma ne ade e bi kura me fi Accra na ma afaka se me ko na me duru kuma se se ba chimi na me se me ka Bono na be so me to ba bo me ho kwan ya me se me ko
me so bo se kuma se fo nye sa why kan wa kuma to yam kakra kuma se fo nye sa
nana sante nyine what ho no onye hu kuma ni on pe basa woni mani mu enu ntimi nim se sa de no nsi nemo sam ye ministries no ayi ayese nguzango fo ne ye ese on de on nansi ho on ma se wa ma ko la ngu se ni panini ni a on
no kre
but on se ni panini dia on so o ba twa asai nti sa de de mislega na pen fo se omonye she se spe ha no on wo man hini ba ko re uko Valencia omo penye oho omo ase omo de duke omo de dikadika no uko País Basco omo kasanko enso omo nyina nim se omo man hini ne ohina what is bibia omo kwadwene no omo develop omo man ade se hiama yen say ebe baso wo Ghana afana nyina ne se nkanyifu nyina nka mo nyina kra mo nka mo nya baako na politicians na omo demand wu no mo pambe
no kre
na mo nyimo sa na nka mo ankasa kra mo hwe na mo nuru enka dia so mfie baba
no kre pa
o hini bi ye boni a ne yaturu na mi se sante nyine tutu ni enyifu ba mi enu ara mi nsabi mani chie pa omo ye galamse
na ofa just ofa o de enfa de aka ni nsi o me shara afro ye beto aso why o de me da se ofa me da se pa me ni matie fo nyina da wase why me da se
okay
me da se pa we abuzafo titi obi kire titi obi ka kire on se ye na mafo se obi sua ye kuye ni mo no na ye sua de nti asemo nti me pese on se ade da bia so o ti me se me pese Dormaahene ni obi benya amane ye nuanom na ye firi baabi na ye ba na de wo ye pani de wo ye de a wo ye pani wontimi nsesa hwe eti enkoko ho ntokwa nti na me de pani nsam ya na me de banka krakra na manim nipa ofre me nim de pacho ohene boko de
yeah me good evening ja me was so ameti ka hu say de omubeye bia enkusiaka because ansa na santi benya enkabo mu no na nanum hwie omumuja egui na nanum hwie omumuja egui enyo omumuja nko omunwi yeyi omunwi yetete omuhwie omumuja egui ansa na omutini akabo na Don Simon sa Don Simon hene no enya dia obetimi aka aborofo na bom ajima bedu no enya dia obetimi aka aborofo na bom eye wo pre then ona o pre akwakoto mu so tase onu ankasa no ewu dane ni mutwe no ewu dane ni mutwe de o ye no o pre ya ni nipa bi getimi kase santene ne doma almost something I can be ana
saka sar kwa enye no kura bi no something woni sa time
very good
woni sa time
until come say the oil no sesi ya no why na child ma ho aba wono no aba be penyini estate wo ebra Dormaahene ba kuna amya konfi na ono ewuye no
Jinaso wahene me ba Desmond wahene eja yabua okofi yabua jinaso me ba o me ba Desmond open me number na tire say me dia na me informa o sisi awai Desmond Sapon also open me number bia na information de mami awai say me na me kasa na o mahunu why so open me number na o mahunu why ofa kofi to aso misa kofi yabua to aso
on say emra wo ye say otumfo emfa okuware pen so onfa fumai ene tu abodom ema no na omumahye na se ana okuware bo fumai hene no obo na mai hene no bo tu abodom hene so mai hene enti omu nyina no abaye pe Nana omo timi on se fuma ne go people so ana tuabora no so de kwanwa nti da bia na tuabora mu na omo timi akomus because fuma no mu do no masane etuo agomu so omo timi ensi woda Dormaahene ba ko no wo no tumfo ekosie no so ta se enti bia oye no ye sa ko we eye no enya adwuma obaya krapra on say oye ya no on satie no o say o free we say aduana hine pa enfa kai me baby a aduana efree
asumunya
kama odurma pa wuye no odurma pa wuye no o say otumfo mo asumunya ya mara kwan na wono emra emesigne otimi ye o say what your friend or see ade e dey no wasipa wotimi aye doctor no kra no ya hwehwe mahu say doctor dem fata no doctor no obi enu a school bi enu a abono doctor e dey post no ya o dey say di na ma no wo so ya wo se me dey o see ade e dey pa no wase wotimi aye say anybody from school where kiki on say see no I futile e bi dey bi achiti no on say sampa here head ya to na iso onya esontra onya sontra biem ayemfuna wadu masisi so no wo mu nyina eje go bi achem wadu gazeta ma wo mu no eje go bi achem etinya dia wo beto aba no amani biem so ta se mesi ewu de ne mu de to de yenhwe ida so be na accident and so obi bobo tuo
abotre I mean we need to learn the history history more na yesu ano be exposing until there momienso history na yenyina obi anya nkwatente na sade ye be ya de asomdwe ye nua a wodoma owo bono ne afomante mu en obi nkokontokwa na onko fa nkokuta hwirehwire eno na ema ye ni abrese we need to educate the people to understand say there was a leadership in the Bono Ahafo region. There was a leadership. And that leadership, you can't change it. With me, change it with amicable solution, but don't do for violence. And yet, said the Dormaahene ya no way, and what?
But I can't say back on me, trust. I'll say, yeah, time on. Be patrol. Come for, near to come yes, I 7 for. Now, history, no, I was school. Now, a Roris. More and we history no every school. So just no omu say omu ka asante
empeni nsem ni nyina na omu nyina ka ho no be se be wipe nyina afri ho ya wa hase asante da so ti asenti enya nwanwa asante da so ti ase enya nwanwa
asante kokromoti asante no Ghana hwade very good. Yeah, kokromoti unsan sante ho emopota. On say we are singing na ya kingdom na. Ya ka omani nyina o. Ba edu Ghana ya ka Ghana Ashanti kingdom. Etina Asante no Asante fo no ya sonko. Tienya o mu dumpa bia o mu.
Medase wa hene medase. Ya wetu aso medase pa. Right. Dear Tiane say ye wo obi a kire ye wo de obi abekire ye wo de obi abesua de hu hia no ye asua why so wonimu a onkon ntokwa de wonim na bekon ntokwa me beza me kire wade bi entina ese hu be hia sese wosua de wonim no obekon ntokwa ba me mpese obekon ntina me pese wosua de wom na wahunu se we ye wonua we ye duane a we ye wonua yokuni we ye wonua so de me chei ma yen to aso free ase na yen to aso free
o si ade yo Dr.
Akari Asumenya hene Nana Kwame Afram Kumawu hene Nana Kwabnesu Ajuso hene Nana Kwajapo Aguna hene Nana Che Mansa Agogo hene Nana Yajima Asokore hene Nana Kofi Wiafe
Jinaso wahene bokode udin ya desmo bokode
Bio odishiwa esame nana usu
dependable okay audience nana usu
because of New York
okay nana mami ntie wa enkomo aye di na onti na person me kasa ya na
One because I'm in your person number because my in the grow my time behind me too. My comments are but
Mate.
I'm saying my messages.
And to him message you on Sabon Yakasavia bo message na for di to ate ya na message ndos na me wi na makuyina fe me US number na for why.
I'm just so being for in my phone. Sam kwasa for see ya se be pedeza on my brother. Can you do us? On New York Hano. Ba ko ma hatin. Multiple times. When doing answers essential hardy. When you be far from I don't know your so and he said, if anything, once I can on earning. I met Jennifer say, I'm summa I don't really do a sentinel. So be moving, I said, tell me, brothers, some of them be no more, you won't be said it. I ain't fancy. I'm my son of we. Yeah, if anything, I'm going to keep you for them. I'm a do Asante. One number be a Masanti. One time be
Liberty Mutual customized my car insurance, and I saved hundreds. No, squirrel. No, no. Oh, beat it. Oh. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
And when she concludes, our ABC News Live team will be here to break down the details of her plan. Let's listen in.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, and thank you for taking the time out of your busy lives. Thank you, everyone. So listen, 1 week from today, you will have the chance to make a decision that directly impacts your life, the life of your family, and the future of this country we love. And it will probably be the most important vote you ever cast. And this election is more than just a choice between two parties and two different candidates. It is a choice about whether we have a country rooted in freedom for every American or ruled by chaos and division. Many of you watching have probably already cast your ballots. But I know many others are still considering who to vote for, or whether you'll vote at all. So tonight, I will speak to everyone about the choice and the stakes in this election. Look, we know who Donald Trump is. He is the person who stood at this very spot nearly 4 years ago and sent an armed mob to the United States Capitol to overturn the will of the people in a free and fair election. An election that he knew he lost. Americans died as a result of that attack. 140 law enforcement officers were injured because of that attack. And while Donald Trump sat in the White House watching as the violence unfolded on television, he was told by his staff that the mob wanted to kill his own vice president. And Donald Trump responded with 2 words: so what? America, that's who Donald Trump is. And that's who is asking you to give him another 4 years in the Oval Office. Not to focus on your problems, but to focus on his. And Donald Trump has told us his priorities for a second term. He has an enemies list of people he intends to prosecute. He says that one of his highest priorities is to set free the violent extremists who insulted those law enforcement officers on January 6th. Donald Trump intends to use the United States military against American citizens who simply disagree with him. People he calls, quote, the enemy from within. America, this is not a candidate for president who is thinking about how to make your life better. This is someone who is unstable, obsessed with revenge, consumed with grievance, and out for unchecked power. Donald Trump has spent a decade trying to keep the American people divided and afraid of each other. That is who he is. But America, I am here tonight to say that is not who we are. That is not who we are. That is not who we are. You see, what Donald Trump has never understood is that e pluribus unum, out of many, one, isn't just a phrase on a dollar bill. It is a living truth about the heart of our nation. Our democracy doesn't require us to agree on everything. In fact, we like good arguments from time to time. Just think of your own family, right? It's not the American way to not have disagreements. We don't shy away from robust debate. In fact, we like a good debate, don't we? We like a good debate. And the fact that someone disagrees with us does not make them the enemy within. That's right. They are family, neighbors, classmates, co-workers. They are fellow Americans. And as Americans, we rise and fall together. America, for too long, we have been consumed with too much division, chaos, and mutual distrust. And it can be easy then to forget a simple truth. It doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to be this way. It is time to stop pointing fingers. We have to stop pointing fingers and start locking arms. It is time to turn the page on the drama and the conflict, the fear and division. It is time for a new generation of leadership in America. And I am ready to offer that leadership as the next President of the United States of America. Now look, let me say, I recognize this has not been a typical campaign. Even though I've had the honor of serving as your vice president for the last 4 years, I know that many of you are still getting to know who I am. Well, let me tell you, I am someone who has spent most of my career outside of Washington, D.C., so I know that not all the good ideas come from here. I am not afraid of tough fights against bad actors and powerful interests, because for decades, as a prosecutor and a top law enforcement officer of our biggest state, I won fights against big banks that ripped off homeowners, against for-profit colleges that scammed veterans and students, against predators who abused women and children, and cartels that trafficked in guns, drugs, and human beings. And I did this work because for as long as I can remember, I have always had an instinct to protect. There's something about people being treated unfairly or overlooked that frankly just gets to me. I don't like it. It's what my mother instilled in me, a drive to hold accountable those who use their wealth or power to take advantage of other people. The drive to protect hardworking Americans who aren't always seen or heard and deserve a voice. And I will tell you that is the kind of president I will be. And look, I'll be honest with you, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. But here's what I promise you. I will always listen to you, even if you don't vote for me. I will always tell you the truth, even if it is difficult to hear. I will work every day to build consensus and reach compromise to get things done. And if you give me the chance to fight on your behalf, there is nothing in the world that will stand in my way. So look, in less than 90 days, either Donald Trump or I will be in the Oval Office. Okay? On day one, if elected, Donald Trump would walk into that office with an enemies list. When elected, I will walk in with a to-do list full of priorities of what I will get done for the American people. And I will work with everyone, Democrats, Republicans, and independents, to help Americans who are working hard and still struggling to get ahead. I have been honored to serve as Joe Biden's vice president. But I will bring my own experiences and ideas to the Oval Office. My presidency will be different because the challenges we face are different. Our top priority as a nation 4 years ago was to end the pandemic and rescue the economy. Now, our biggest challenge is to lower costs that were rising even before the pandemic and that are still too high. I get it. I still remember our mother sitting at that yellow Formica table, late at night, cup of tea in hand, a pile of bills in front of her, trying to make it all work. And I've heard from so many of you who are facing even greater financial pressures. Donald Trump's answer to you is the same as it was the last time. Another $1 trillion in tax cuts for billionaires and big corporations. And this time, he will pay for it with a 20% national sales tax on everything you buy that is imported. Think about it. Clothes, food, toys, cell phones. A Trump sales tax that would cost the average family nearly $4,000 more a year. And on top of that, you will pay even more if Donald Trump finally gets his way and repeals the Affordable Care Act, which would throw millions of Americans off their health insurance and take us back to when insurance companies had the power to deny people with pre-existing conditions. Well, we are not going back. We are not going back. We are not going back because we also know Donald Trump would deliver tax cuts to his billionaire donors. I will deliver tax cuts to working people and the middle class. I make sure you have a chance not just to get by, but to get ahead. Because I believe in honoring the dignity of work. I will enact the first ever federal ban on price gouging on groceries. Cap the price of insulin and limit out-of-pocket prescription costs for all Americans. I will fight to make sure that hardworking Americans can actually afford a place to live. I'll never forget how our mother saved up and how excited she was when she could finally afford to buy our first home. I remember how excited she was. And I know that owning a home is not only a measure of financial security, it's about the pride of your hard work. And as president, I will fight to help first-time home buyers with your down payment, take on the companies that are jacking up rents, and build millions of new homes. For years, we have heard excuses about why America can't build enough housing. Enough with the excuses. I'm going to cut the red tape and work with the private sector and local governments to speed up building and get it done. And the cost of housing isn't the only financial pressure on middle-class families. I have met so many young people who have a natural desire to parent their children well, but not always the resources to do it. So I'll fight for a child tax credit to save them some money, which will also lift American children out of poverty. I'll work to lower the cost of childcare, which is out of reach for too many working families today. And for too many people in the sandwich generation who are raising young children and taking care of a parent, juggling all of it is extremely difficult. You know, I took care of my mother when she got sick, cooking food that she had a taste for, finding clothes that would not irritate her skin, and understand, as I do, that caregiving is about dignity. It is about dignity. And currently, if you need home care and you don't have some money to hire someone, you and your family need to deplete your savings to qualify for help. That's just not right. So we're going to change the approach and allow Medicare to cover the cost of home care so seniors can get the help and care they need in their own homes. Now, Donald Trump has a different approach. He tried to cut Medicare and Social Security every year he was president. Look, I believe